In today's episode of SFA Now, we are going to take a sneak peek into the upcoming movie created by the SFA Film Department. We'll take a look at the exclusive behind-the-scenes features and talk to the cast and crew.
Hello and welcome to another edition of SFA Now, where we showcase and highlight organizations and clubs on campus. I'm Kyesha Jackson, and today we have Mr. Ricky Kennedy. He was the writer and director and creator of the most recent film created by the SFA Film Department. With the help of SFA's Film Department, he was able to bring his vision to life. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Mr. Kennedy, so how have the film coming out next year? Would you mind telling me the name of your film and what it is about?
The film is called A Year From Now, and it is sort of a holiday Christmas film, very much inspired by It's a Wonderful Life and Groundhog's Day. And it's about a young woman named Veronica, and she goes home to spend Christmas with her family, and while she's there, she keeps getting pestered about when are you going to get married, when are you going to have a boyfriend, all those questions everybody gets when we go home for the holidays and we meet our relatives. Well, for most of us, you know, it's just 1 or 2 days. For her, she gets stuck in a time loop.
Oh.
And every day she wakes up, it's another year later. So she starts to see the life of her family members, her siblings, grow and go in different directions, and her life just sort of flatlines.
Oh.
And she's like, is this going to be my life? Am I stuck in this forever? And if this is my life, how can I fix it? How can I make my life better? And so it's very much a sort of a heartwarming film about finding out what you want to do in your life.
And why did you develop a Christmas story?
Well, the last few SFA summer features have been dark comedies or films that had, you know, lots of violence and murder and stuff like that. And so I kind of wanted to do something that was in the opposite direction. Also something that might appeal more to the older crowd, because so often, again, we're college students, or the college students making these films, and so often they do stuff that is interesting to them, and it may not be interesting to everyone else. And so I wanted to make a film for the people who are not college-age kids, but something that could be enjoyed by the whole family.
And you mentioned college kids, so how did you come up with the concept of your story?
Well, I am an SFA alumni, and I studied film here at SFA as an undergraduate and a graduate student. And when you're writing scripts or developing ideas, I will keep an index card with me or a scrap of paper, and I will write down ideas I have all the time. And so this was an idea I had 5 or 6 years ago, and I just put it in my back pocket. I'll develop this at some other point. And Professor R. Scott came to me last year and said, look, we don't have any grad students who are ready to do their thesis work yet. If you can write a script, we'll shoot it. And so I went back to my drawer and pulled out all these notes I had and found this one idea. I thought, this is something that we could potentially do. And so I started developing it then.
Okay, and with the development of that, were there any challenges of bringing this story to life?
Well, particularly with any film that we do here at SFA, the biggest challenge is just physically just making the movie and getting actors, because most often a lot of the actors are volunteering or we're trying to get local talent, and that's just tough because you're asking people to give up 4 weeks of their life to come and shoot this film, and finding locations to shoot at, finding furniture, finding props, all of these things that we have to go out and get ourselves, because we don't have a wardrobe department. We don't have a props department. This is stuff we have to do on our own. Okay,
and now that you mentioned about the development and all that, why don't we show a sneak peek of what the actual film is about?
All right.
How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay, so here we go.
Veronica? Merry Christmas, come here. Come on. Haven't seen you in forever. Give me a hug. Oh, I missed you. So, have you started writing your book?
My book? No, not yet.
Why not?
We're snowed under at the firm, and honestly, I don't think my boss would know what to do if I wasn't putting the right papers in front of him.
I thought you didn't want to be a lawyer in the first place.
I didn't want to disappoint my parents. I thought paralegal was a good compromise, at least until I could support myself writing, but I never seem to have the time now. Hey, who moved the tree?
The Christmas tree?
Yeah, wasn't it in front of the window last night?
Well, that's where the Supreme Allied Commander of Christmas festivities usually puts it, but I want to try something new this year.
Where'd you get that apron?
You gave it to me last year.
Last year? That's impossible. I got that for you this year.
Oh no, did you get him another one by mistake? Oh, I did something like that years ago.
Are you okay? You're kind of spacing out.
I'm fine. I'm just kind of tired this morning.
What are you reading?
My diary.
You don't know what you wrote?
Yeah, sometimes I forget.
Oh, you're not going through that whole amnesia thing again, are you?
No, I'm fine.
Look, I know this whole thing, it's affecting everyone. And if you need to talk,
I'm fine.
And if you're just tuning in, I have Ricky Kennedy here with me, the sole creator and director of the film. So when exactly can we expect the film to come out?
Well, we shot this film in July, and post-production takes a long time of the editing process. I plan to have the film completed by May of next year, May of 2020. And that's so that I can start sending it out to film festivals for the fall of 2020. And depending on how well it does on the film festival circuit, if it is able to get into lots of film festivals, that may carry over into 2021.
Okay.
So it potentially may not be able to be seen on Amazon Prime or Vimeo or YouTube by most audiences until probably sometime around Christmas of 2021. So it's a long process.
Okay. And based on the trailer, what do you want your audience to feel when they watch the movie?
I just want them to feel good. I want it to be a feel-good, heartwarming family film. There's so much, terrible stuff in the world right now, so I think we need something that's just nice and pleasant, sort of like comfort food.
And what is the process of bringing your story to life?
Well, with filmmaking, it's not just one person sitting in a room and deciding I'm going to make this film. It's collaboration. So, I may write the script and I may direct it, but it's working with my director of photography. It's working with all the crew members back there. As you can see, it's just not me. The film does not exist without these people. I can sit there and write a script, but it's just me and a piece of paper until I have these people to help me actually make it. So it's really all about collaboration and them bringing ideas and making my film better.
And what other films have you worked on or are working on prior to this past summer?
Okay, well, as an undergrad or as a graduate student at SFA, my thesis project was a film entitled The History of Time Travel. And that film was able to get into several film festivals, including the Austin Film Festival, the Boston Sci-Fi Film Festival. It played overseas. And it's actually available on Amazon Prime for those that would like to watch it. So that was really my first feature film. And so this is now my second film that I'm doing, and I'm really glad to be able to have a second film in development.
And how would you describe a day in the life on set?
Film sets can be very long. It's a lot of hurry up and wait. We averaged about 12 hours on our film set, but you can go as long as 16 hours, and it can be very grueling work. It's a lot of lighting, it's a lot of moving cameras, it's a lot of rehearsing, it's a lot of doing takes. But I don't like running my crew into the ground. So after about 12 hours, it's time to shut it down and go home. And we always try to do 12 on, 12 off to give people time to rest, because again, we're shooting in the summer. It was very hot. It's always hot in July in Texas. And that's one of the reasons why I did a Christmas film, so we could shoot most of it indoors.
Oh, nice.
And basically pretend like it's cold outside. But When we did go outside, we're in July, and we've got sweaters and jackets on. So it was pretty hot for those few scenes that we did have set outdoors.
And speaking of the scenes, why don't we show a firsthand experience of what being on set is like?
All right, fantastic.
Every year, the SFA Film Department brings movie-making magic to Nacogdoches, Texas. This past year, they brought Christmas to July.
I feel like it was great because it's like the first time I've just been able to just watch the summer feature get made while also being on set. As far as being on set, I had my own like time schedule. I made it myself compared to what everybody else had to do. That was a fun experience, and then also getting to see how Ricky works as a director. He's very easygoing with the actors. He's very friendly with the crew. You know, he's easy to talk to, and you know, just to get an understanding of what needs to happen.
It was a much smaller crew. Everyone knew each other pretty well already, and we were just so comfortable with everyone. And even during the summer, we got even more comfortable with everyone. And there wasn't a point where people got annoyed with each other over time.
So like one of my favorite memories had nothing to do with the actual film itself. It was just one of the crew members had made like a mess in the bathroom. My first AD ended up having to get on to him, and it just, listening to it and watching it, it was just like one of those mother-son moments.
The length of time that you're there on set, it can go up to 12 hours, sometimes 14 hours, just depends. And definitely also like waking up early at times. There were times where we had like 4 a.m. call times. Maybe the food also, the food's not that great.
I think they'll have a good experience with it. It's kind of like a Hallmark movie. That's how Ricky kind of explained it. Something that like the family can get around and watch around Christmas time. And you know, it has a nice message, and I feel like once it's all done, that Ricky's gonna give, you know, everybody something that they can watch with the family, a good movie.
It's gonna make people cherish the memories that they're making or that they made, and just spend time with family during Christmas or any holiday.
Well, that looks so interesting. I'm excited to see this film. But in the meantime, where can we check out other SFA students' films?
Okay, the film program has a YouTube channel. It's called SFA Film School.
Okay.
And they will put up the short films that both the undergraduate and graduate students produce during the semesters. There's also some behind-the-scenes making-of documentaries on there. So if you're interested in filmmaking or interested in what SFA has been producing the last 15 years, then you can check out the SFA YouTube page,
Awesome.
SFA Film School.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here today. And join us again next time on SFA Now. I'm Kyesha Jackson.
Thank you. And I'm Ricky Kennedy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.